I think if we're just talking about Russia in pure isolation, we have the capability, we don't want to get into a conflict with Russia. Nobody wants that, but I think that we have an ability to deal with that if it were to arise. I think the bigger issue is that if Russia is allowed unilaterally to not just dealing with Ukraine anymore, but to reconstitute the Soviet Empire, now you're going into NATO countries, you're going into non-aligned countries who have great non-NATO aligned countries who have great relationships with the United States, similar to Ukraine. That's something that destabilizes the balance of power across the world. The other thing that we're taking very close look at is what is China's view with respect to Taiwan? How are they looking at Taiwan? What is that going to mean going forward? If the West essentially just said, oh, Russia's invading Ukraine, oh, okay, let's just turn a blind eye, that only empowers the Chinese to do the same thing with Taiwan. I tweeted this a couple weeks ago. I've been saying it for a very long time. Weakness only breeds aggression. If you are weak in the face of a force, the opposing force is only going to be more aggressive. And so we have to be strong there. I don't think Russia's an existential threat. They are a threat. We need to respond in kind, and we need to make sure that we do everything we can, not only to help the Ukrainians, as long as we're not putting men and women of the U.S. military into the theater, but also making sure that we secure the NATO countries and the other countries who are not NATO countries, but they are aligned with the interests of the United States and the West.
What do you think the U.S. should do, or what can they do to contain Russia's influence in the Western Hemisphere?
Oh, in the Western Hemisphere?
Yeah. Being here, Latin America, U.S., Caribbean.
Look, first and foremost, I think we have to do is strengthen our relationships with our allies down in South America, Central America. We need to be much more aggressive in terms of making sure that we have influence in those countries here in our own hemisphere. We shouldn't be turning a blind eye to South American countries and letting Russia and or China build these relationships. We need to make sure we do that here. It's really as simple as that. As long as we're doing that, and we're also building up our military, making sure it's strong and prepared to deal with conflict, if necessary, this is basically peace through strength, then we'll be fine.